Let's get our meeting started. Okay, we're gonna go start our meeting here. We're gonna start off with a pule. Actually, let's call to the order. December 4th for December 3rd, Neighborhood Board number 24 officially starts now.
Can I have you all rise? And let's pray. Father, I just thank you for so many in this community have always been there in this community helping to make Waianae great. Lord, I just thank you for all the things you've done in this past year as we're ending this year and with the newly elected officials that we have. We ask your blessing on them. Give them guidance. May their hearts be open to your lead. That they will make Hawaii a great state. And Lord, I pray your blessing once again over our meeting, over the Waianae community. May we honor you. Pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Dando. Before we start, just wanted to go over some new rules that came up by the NCO's office. And just a reminder that the city and county's first responders reports will be only a report and no questions asked to the report for those individuals who are reporting, as well as presentations will be for public presentations only. And then with that said, would like to make a motion to put up 6.3 to just under 3.3. Vacancies, one at-large seat and one sub-district seat, sub-district seat. Waianae, second the motion? Yes.
Second.
Second the motion. All in favor? Yep, all in favor, right? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any objections? Okay, we'll go ahead and start. Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening, everybody. I'm firefighter Leggett from the Waianae Fire Station next door. So for the incident statistics for November, for fires, 0 structure fires. We had 5 brush fires, 12 nuisance fires, 0 cooking fires, and 3 activated alarms. For emergencies, we had 129 medicals, 1 motor vehicle collision with a pedestrian, 6 motor vehicle collisions, 1 mountain rescue, and no ocean rescues or hazmat falls. The fire safety tip for November is going to be about cooking safety. So stay alert while cooking. If you are asleep or have consumed alcohol, avoid using the stove or stovetop. Always stay in the kitchen while cooking. Never leave the stove and heated appliances unattended. Use a timer to remind yourself to check on your food regularly. Keep flammable items like oven mitts, wooden utensils, food packaging, and towels away from your stovetop. And lastly, keep children and pets at least 3 feet away from cooking areas. And that is all.
No, we can't. Thank you. HPD. Thank you, HFD. Happy holidays. Okay. Sergeant Fumi.
Aloha board chair members, community in Waianae. I have the stats for Waianae in November. Sergeant Fumi Moroka from HPD District 8 Community Policing. So for November, for the district, motor vehicle thefts were 29, Waianae had 7. Burglaries, total of 10 in our district. Waianae had 3. Thefts, 104. Waianae had 26 reported. Unauthorized entries into motor vehicle, 21 in the district. Waianae, total of 5. Citations total issued was 446. Total calls for service in our district, 8,637, of which Waianae was 2,710. Just one announcement, upcoming Waianae parade, Christmas parade, December 14th. The parade will run from Waianae Boat Harbor to Waianae Mall, same as the past years, no changes. Just want the public to be aware. The parade will begin at 10. Traffic will be diverted up Plantation Road, going eastbound, and up the valley, coming back down Lehoku, back onto Farrington, and also westbound. It will go up, it will be diverted up Lehoku Street and back down to Plantation Road, which is by Taco Bell, Waianae. Yeah, I think that's it. No questions.
Thank you, Sergeant Fumi. Appreciate that. Happy holidays.
Philip, I get one question for Sergeant for me.
Cannot.
Okay,
ask-
okay.
Yeah, we're not allowed to ask questions during the report. That would be it. Thank you, Sergeant Fumi.
Yep.
NCO rules have changed. We're not allowed to ask questions. So, let's see, ocean safety. Anyone from ocean safety? So moving to 6.3, which we had moved in order to fill our vacancies. So we have one at-large seat. If you have not verified with Jeffrey, please verify with Jeffrey, and one sub-district. Okay,
Chair,
yes,
can I nominate?
yes.
I'd like to nominate Dana Newman.
Chair. Chair, can I nominate also?
Yes.
Blessing. Blessing.
Go ahead, Mr. Lanford.
Blessing start.
Blessing?
Yeah.
You cannot. Oh, yeah, she's not qualified, Mr. Lanford. Her address zone is not in our district.
Okay, Chair. Carrie, can
Carrie?
you tell us whose residence was confirmed so we know who to choose and who not to choose? So who came forward and found that they're in the district for the vacancies? So we know who to nominate. So,
Okay, so we were just discussing, so right now, Joe Jordan is the only one who qualifies for sub-district 2. And right now, I do not have anyone else going for her, for that position. Do we still want to hold a vote, or are we just going to nominate her in, since there is no other individuals going against her? Okay. Good, okay. Joe Jordan has been will fill the sub-district 2.
Get your seat, sis.
So short recess to be.
Now we're
pledged
gonna
with?
go one at long. We,
My apologies. We will do the swearing in of those who fill the vacancies after we do find a volunteer and nomination for the at-large opening. So we'll take a recess after the next seat is filled. Thank you.
so we are now gonna head with our at-large seats. We have 2 individuals, Terry and Dana. So let's do a voice vote.
Okay, so for the at-large seat, there are 2 nominations. For that person to be on the board, they have to receive the quorum vote, which is 5. So when I call your name, you can say the name of the person you'd like to join the board, either Dana or Terry. If they neither get 5 votes, we'll go through a second roll call, and if we can't find after that second roll call, we'll advertise the seat at the next scheduled neighborhood board meeting. And please use your microphones. Board Member Endo,
Terry,
Board Member Lanford,
Terry.
Board Member Perry,
Terry.
Board Member Wahilani,
Dana.
Board Member Kalea Wilbur,
Terry.
and Chair Ganaban.
Dana,
Okay, so that's a split of 4 and 2. Again, we'll do another roll call vote. Again, use your microphones. Again, the names are Dana and Terry for those who are filling the seat. Board Member Endo,
Terry,
Could we hold off on our votes and have them come up and speak or talk or something so we can get to know? And I mean, we can go all day on this table voting. Yeah. Yeah. Is Dana online?
I believe there's a user with just Dana online. I'm not too sure if that is.
That's
Who it
the
is?
other. Is he online? If he's not present, then that's automatically third.
Online participant, Dana, would you mind coming on camera or unmuting yourself?
Oh, I'm here.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for verifying. The board wants to have an opportunity to hear from both nominees. So I believe Terry's here in person. If you would like to share a little about yourself or why you would like to join the board, and Dana, the same. I know you shared at a month prior, but it's been some time. If you'd like to share a little bit about yourself as well before we do the second.
Who would you like to go first?
You can go, Dana. Sorry about that. I should have let you know.
Yeah, so my name is Dana Newman, lifelong resident of Waianae. Will basically die in Waianae. Yeah, so why I want to participate in the neighborhood board, I think there's a little bit of influence into keeping Waianae. If I can utilize my voice within community, yeah, there's no doubt that I have a lot of qualifications in terms of working within community and being able to like really support communities' growth. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Dana, I have a question. And I know that you're very active as well culturally. So could you explain your position culturally as a nominee?
Yeah, so as a nominee, like I bring to the table, I've been practicing Ho'oponopono for maybe about 25 years under various kumu, to include Malia Craver, Uncle Richard Paglinoan, Auntie Lynette, Mileka Kanahele, and within my own family. Yeah, so I bring that to the table. I continue to practice Olelo Hawaii. Yeah, and just live as a Kanaka.
Mahalo.
Terry, you can go ahead.
Aloha mai. Is that on? Oh, Aloha mai kako. I'm Terry Sabaina, been a resident over 26 years on the west side. I believe I can bring some tenacity, some help with things that needs to be recognized in the community. I've been volunteering a lot in the community. I help with the R3 program. I go to Kupuna Council. Now that I'm working, I'm not active in Kupuna Council like before, but yeah, I believe that I can bring a lot to the table. I'm not afraid. I will stand, and just stand for the people. I like to help the community. I mean, going to the beach, talking story with the people. They just need to know that somebody cares about them. Just even giving them that attention in saying, hi, aloha, even smiling at them. That's all it takes. You don't have to give them money. You don't have to buy them nothing. Just recognize them and appreciate that they're alive, they're breathing, and they're somebody. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Can I just add one more thing? Sorry, this is Dana again. Terry is a wonderful person too. So either voting for myself or voting for Terry, it's all good. Waianae will have a good representative.
Well, after that first roll call was 4-2. So we'll do a second roll call, and if not, it can get advertised at the next board meeting. Again, say the first name of the person you'd like to fill the seat. Their names are Terry and Dana. Board Member Endo,
Terry,
Board Member Lanford, Board Member Perry,
Dana.
Board Member Vahilani, Board Member Kalia Wilbur,
Stories. And I know you guys are both active in the community and really work hard. It's a tough one because you guys both bring a lot to the table. I know Dana, I did ask you months ago to come to the table, and this thing took forever to get you here. But Terry, I apologize. I'm gonna have to go back. And Dana, you got my vote.
Hello.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks, Terry. I grew up with Dana from elementary. So. Okay.
Oh, well, okay. For the record, the nominee for Terry, she has rescinded volunteering and filling that nomination. So with it being Dana, Chair, would you like to do a voice vote? All in favor?
All in favor for Dana for a new board filling the at-large seat? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against, say nay. Okay, that's it.
Okay, so we'll take a quick recess. I will swear in both, or I will talk to Resident Joe Jordan in person, and I will be active with communicating with Dana online.
Recess is ended. We'll resume our board meeting. Okay, and we're starting off with residents' community concerns. Please come to the mic, state your name, full first name, last name, for community concerns, please. And then online, anyone online? 2 minutes, yes, a 2-minute limit, please.
For community concerns, please keep it 2 minutes. Okay, mahalo.
Hello, my name is Austin Salcedo. I just want to bring concerns about our new City Bill 64. It's about, didn't bring the bill, but it's 300 something pages. Can everybody hear me now? Get better. 300 something pages. I went to City Hall. It had passed the second reading right now. My concern is not only agriculture, but it has a lot of apples and oranges all mixed into this bill. Okay, one concern is Bill 64 contains group living housing.
Okay, page 5 talks about the state. No, page 20 allows a state to register and everything, only the state operation. DPP, city DPP will not be involved in any of their group living as well, approved. With that said, under page 5P means permitted. There's no conditional use permit. The concerns about it is any state operations on group living on our side will have no conditional use permit, and we'll have no community impact site. We have no use for the neighborhood board because of the way it's written. Okay, so I reached out to Andrea Topola. She's going to have a meeting regarding Bill 64 and the involvement of that, because it totally relates to the Makaha Gateway Marketplace about their group living 20-bed operated by SHPNA, State Health Planning and Development Agency. They are not Department of Health. Okay, they are below, governed by Governor Josh Green. Group living, no DPP approval, no community impact study, nothing's been aware. Also, there's a Department of Health walk-in treatment center on the first floor. Never been brought to the neighborhood board, even from the previous neighborhood board. I'm glad Joe Jordan is there. It was never brought to their planning department and SHAR's attention. So got to make awareness on this. We need the Department of Health come to the neighborhood board and present that. That's what we need. The Department of Health, Adult Mental Health Division, and Alcohol and Drug Abuse Division, ADAD, AMHD, Department of Health. Besides SHPNA, SHPNA was also made awareness at the Nanakuli Planning Committee. There's flaws in what they do. Permitting process had expired for 2 years. It's still on their website as being valid. Expired back in 2022. It's still on their website as being valid.
Thank you,
So
Mr.
it can be
Salcedo.
returned. That's all I have. And please ask questions.
Thank you, Mr. Salcedo. So for SHPNA, guys, it's a state agency that has openings for public input. They determine the need for healthcare facilities or healthcare equipment on our side or parts of the island. So right now, under that need, if there is a need for a program, SHPNA has the say to say that, okay, there is a need for mental health services, and they can, and Leeward side or Waianae side has it, and they can put it there. It's just for education purposes. So if you want to have input in where they put things, they have openings on their board as well. You can look it up on their website. Thank you, Mr. Salcedo.
Yeah, it's called an advisory council, and none of these advisory councils is from the west side. So
Thank you,
we're
Mr. Salcedo. You guys can ask him more questions in the back. He was at the Nanakuli Neighborhood Board and has that information. Hi, introduce yourself, please.
Aloha, Raquel Araki. I would like to bring up the 249 acres that Ma'o is looking to inquire up against the mountainside in Makaha. There is an article about it that came out November 4th and one on the 13th. And it's in the Star Advertiser, and we have not had it brought to the board yet. So we would like to know what is the transparent process that is happening every step of the way. And then also there is development happening across the roadside in the Makaha Resort, the West Wing, and they're looking to develop. So we need to know every step of the way what that's going to look like. And tourism is up 97% from COVID. So that is a lot of revenue that is coming to Hawaii, and they're using our resources that comes directly from Ka'ala. And we need to know the exact percentage that is coming back to the watershed to restore it.
Thank you. Mike Eli.
Hey, hello, everybody. Michael William Capolino Eli. So I'd like to know what happened to the meeting and what's going on with the DPP and the planning and permitting on top, what they're doing on top of Ag 2 land. But you gotta have an archaeologist on site because that's all historic preservation. They're only grading why they get license, they get permitting. I mean, that's all mismanaging on the DLNR, planning and permitting, all mismanagement. Department of Planning and Permitting, and then now I read report the one that there was drilling, so that's mismanaging on the water supply too now. So they will dig, then drill 400 feet down to sea level or hit the water. And how come they never bring them to the board? What kind of project they building over there? Because they're digging a 30 feet hole over there, bro. Above Angel's Junkyard. You can see them. The thing is wide open now. If you guys really look, I mean, I can see them from the road. I mean, if you guys go past Angel's Junkyard, get the Watercrest, then Angels, then Watercrest, then right there. Who gave them guys planning it, the permitting for go up there and do all that kind of stuff? Because they never bring them to the board if there's some big project. They're supposed to bring all projects right here to this board so we know what's going on in our community. It's all mismanagement, bro. On the dealing, everything. The dealing, only just go over there and tell them, oh, what? You guys get permits? At least see you guys paperwork. If no more, fine them. You know what I mean? They're over here. We only need one dealer now over here by the harbor. Send everybody up the road. Go look what people are doing. They stay desecrating. Straight up. Desecrating. They don't care about us. I don't know, but I go work 5 days a week. On Saturdays and Sundays, I in that mountain. And I'm kind of sick of it already. Here, the bottom of our supply, the maintenance road. They're supposed to fix the maintenance road on the rosas. Like I said, the Jeep road, we call them the Jeep rollers, hunters and gatherers and guys who hike. They gotta fix that road because people stay twisting their ankles, the bushes is high. And the faucet, the thing is not open to public now. They shut them off again. I go over there for turn them on, no more water. Put one sign and tell the hikers, turn them off. That's for all of us, hikers, hunters, whoever go up on that mountain. We need water coming out the pipe right there by the water tank. Because they just shut them off too. I mean, been like 5 months.
Okay, Mr. Eli.
Just the state is just accession to the crime of 1887, Hawaii Kingdom, Constitution, Banner law. All, everybody, whoever work for the state is just associated to the crime still to today. No matter what.
Thank you, Mr. Eli.
You know what I mean? No matter what.
Thank you, Mr. Eli.
Mismanaging the whole state. They gotta wake up and look. It's my backyard, bro.
I understand, Mr. Eli.
Chair, maybe Mr. Eli and the lady before can attend our DPP meeting that's coming up. I think the agenda went out already, so.
That is correct.
Maybe Jeff can update them if he has anything, but maybe they should attend our meeting and let's see if we can form a committee to address the situations between these two guys and
Yeah.
see if our committee can help it.
Home Keola, but what they're doing over there,
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
desecrating too. bro.
Okay, compile all your stuff.
Yeah,
and-
bro. You
Let's
guys
bring
gotta
it
check
to the,
up on
bring
them.
it to the meeting. Let's,
He never come, but they
Yeah.
guys came, but we almost at the meeting, but
yeah.
they only
Okay.
just pushing dirt back and whatever. If they
Okay,
cannot work with their hands, why are you gonna bring the machines up there when I think it's historic preservation?
Okay.
We're the state when you need them.
Yeah.
We're the archaeologists on site.
They-
Well, the thing gonna be happening like Kauai.
they still
They got ready to dig the hole. boom.
They had line
never-
and they had the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
rail.
yeah. I know,
Okay.
Mr. Lasher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I can grumble. I vote now, so I agree. I can grumble. I can grumble. I vote for Chris. Samantha, yeah, I vote for them. I vote for Donald Trump.
Thank you,
I
sir.
vote.
Thank you, sir.
Aloha. Kalei, I have several concerns. Number one, the developing that's going to be a Kilikili Drive. Okay. We all know we got stuck in that traffic. I was stuck in that traffic. There was 2 accidents the same day. Pa'akea Road. There's supposed to be an emergency access. HPD opened and did the best they could. But let me tell you, we still stuck. Kupunas that had appointments 6 months ahead could not make it. There was no way to do a U-turn to get out of the Pa'akea. If a fire had started, you made a line. So that's a concern we need to do with transportation. ASP. The other concern that I do have, this is for all the board members. And Jeffrey, want this to be noted. You're on a board, do things for your community. Do not do for your own personal gains. And if you're a nonprofit organizations, please do not have a say on it because we've been through that many years. Be here with your heart for your community. If you're not, please remove yourself from the board. Because we are tired of the same old, same old. As you can see, Waianae became a red state, a red voted. Because why? They wanted to change. And we deserve the change. Okay? The other concern I do have, communication is very important from our representative in our legislature. And I know we're going to get it. It's not going to be cat and mouse or dog and pony. You know, so I'm looking for the board to work in the best interest and the community's concern. Like I said, if you're involved with a nonprofit organization and you're a board member, please remove yourself from voting from any, especially nonprofit organization. Be true to your community, be true to yourself, not your back pocket, and be true. Kia koa.
Thank you, Kalei. Nani, go ahead.
Hello, my kako. Vote. Hello. I'm Nani. Nani Peterson. Couple things that I wanted to bring up. There's a situation with an abandoned boat up in Waianae Valley that took over 2 months for it to be taken away. About maybe 2 weeks prior to it being removed, there was a fire that happened on that boat. And I live right there. I've spoken to some of the legislatures to find out how we can remedy the situation because I'm going to kiai that area. I'm going to protect that area. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to talk to everybody that messing up the aina in that area. But it doesn't help when the government, when we kind of get the help from the government as well. Yeah. And so the simple need of cameras, and I was willing to put cameras up in my area so that we can monitor the corruption that's going on up in that valley. Something needs to be done. I found out from a fellow police officer that, because I asked him, why did it take so long? This is ridiculous. And this is not the first time that stuff that has been left over there has taken more than 2 months to be picked up. And I was informed that, of course, the government, they like take money from us all the time, right? But they don't like pay their own bills. Yeah, and so all these tow truck drivers that are contracted with the government are not getting paid. Yeah, and so that needs to be followed up on. No kiaha. Why are people not getting paid by this fake state? That's one. Sorry. Wanted to start off with the heva. The good. I've spoken with Samantha, talked with Samantha. Mahalo so much for coming with me to the heiau over at Malaya. Kane Ilioloa and Ku Ilioloa. We've taken coconut trees from that area and we have not replaced them. Our culture is to, whatever we take, we put back, right? And so we're working on trying to get permission, one, to put those plants back because we need that tree of life. Two, to figure out how tree of life is not tree of life without the coconuts. Yeah, and they've been cut down for way too long. Yeah, I understand the whole liability situation, but that's a fluke. Yeah, the coconut trees have been here way before us. And the amount of people that have died from coconuts, yeah, no. There's other ways for us to maintain that areas so that we can still obtain life from that tree of life. Yeah, whether it's putting a hedge around the coconut or having our high school kids figure out how to build a net around the coconut that the coconuts can come safely down. Yeah, there are opportunities for our kids to build some kind of economic thing for them, for our community. Yeah, and we need to start looking at those ways, right? And where are those ideas coming from? Yeah, our younger kids, our younger generations. And so this is a reminder also to our board, to our community as well. Yeah, our ike does not just stem from kupuna. We want to always look at the past to know where we got to go in the future. But each one of us has ike and strengths in our own. Yeah. So look also to our makuas and our opio. Mahalo nui loa.
Thank you, Nani.
Hey, Nani, I'm so sorry. What was the address for that boat, the property that you were referencing, just so I can have that down for the report?
So Waianae Valley Road, fork at the bus stop, right there in the circle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other community concerns online, in person? Okay, please step to the mic. Otherwise, we're moving on to our next section of our board meeting. We're going to go ahead with presentations. Bill 46. Who's that presenting? Yeah, there you go. Here you go, Ross. Hi, Ross. Go
Hello,
ahead.
Chair. Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, community, board members. My name is Ross Isokane, and I am a member of a grassroots coalition that supports the empty homes tax. And we're really hoping that the empty homes tax can help mitigate the affordable housing crisis that's just harming so many of us. For far too long, we have allowed outside speculative investors hoard and exploit our most precious land resources for profit, all while paying some of the lowest property taxes in the nation. Now, keeping the status quo benefits them and the special interests that enrich themselves off of these practices. So unless something is done, our housing and our rental prices will continue to get worse. But if our elected officials will support an empty homes tax, we can show these speculative investors and special interests that we are committed to a housing economy that benefits all of us as residents, and not just the wealthy and well-connected. So just to let you know, the current bill that right now is in front of the City Council is Bill 46. And it is approaching the final reading and the final vote, possibly at the next council meeting next week. But there's definitely still a lot of opposition. So if I may, just as a really brief overview, the theory is our land, our housing are bid up and purchased by wealthy investors, many of whom don't even reside on Oahu, and they leave those units vacant. Now, the obvious answer would be to try to target out-of-state investors, but unfortunately that would likely get struck down by the courts under the US Constitution. So Bill 46 in its current form will create a new residential property tax class. It's called residential E as an empty. And that's to encourage owners who don't occupy their extra housing units to rent them out on a long-term basis to residents. Now, just to be clear, if owners would prefer to leave their property vacant, they are allowed to do so. It is a free country, but they may be subject to a higher tax rate. Just want to make one last thing clear. The bill is really designed to target and discourage outside investors that own 3, 4, 5, and more extra properties. Hawaii residents with 1 additional property will very likely be exempted under the bill. There are close to 20 exemptions currently written in the draft bill, many of which have been structured by our council members specifically to relieve Hawaii residents from this tax. But that's just my quick understanding. There are a lot of nuances and details, so I'll stop there. Thank you for your time. Happy to stand by for any questions.
Ross, do you know when the next meeting is?
I believe it will be December 11th, but it has to be calendared and in 6 calendar days before they have to provide notice to the public.
Thank you, Ross. Do appreciate that.
Chair Perry.
Go ahead, Perry.
Okay, November 21st, the city council had a hearing. And according to the written testimonies of 178 pages, in support 123, and only 2 from 96792. I could not recognize other zip codes, but majority from Honolulu. opposed 94, comment 12. What I like about it, and it depends, it says that we have 34,000 to 70,000 empty homes. What I like about it, there's no additional. As you know, the landfill is in our community. That's what I like about it. The city hired a consultant, Ernest and Young. Us taxpayers paid $500,000 for the consultant fee. The consultant mentioned to the council to delay the bill. So if they say, now do the math, if they saying there's 34,000 to 70,000 empty homes, how come that much people did not testify on behalf of this bill? So I'm thinking they are not aware of this bill. So when you send out the tax bill in February, all these people should be informed what's happening. That's transparency, and that's only fair. Letter from Susan Young, CEO of Honolulu Board of Realtors, 6,700 members is in opposition. So we need transparency. The city, in the meantime, are using vacant commercial buildings and converting it into affordable housing. So even if this empty homes, the owners open it up, who's to say we can still afford it? They still have a right how much they want to charge for the units. Who's to say we can still afford it? The problem I see, the credit is bad or the income. That's really the problem. It's not housing, it's the credit and the income. There's a lot of housing, you know, and we are coming to a point where generational homes, and that's in some reality makes sense. So I would not support this bill, and the city council need to honor the consultant that they hired. And as taxpayers that paid $500,000 for their fee should honor that and delay it for whatever reason the consultant told the city and not rush it. And hear from all the owners who own those empty units to come forward, support or opposition. That's transparency and that's being honest. Now, if I own it and was not informed of what's happening, believe me, I would not just sit and be humble about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I can quickly.
Anyone else?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ross.
No, I'll just say I
Go ahead, Ross.
appreciate your comment and just for, I'm just a resident, so I don't belong to the city council or the city. But so I hear your concerns. Just for context, if this bill even passes, it won't be effective until July 2027. So long time from now for the city to educate. The other thing I'll add is I've been following this pretty closely. I wasn't aware that Ernst & Young, the consultants, actually said verbally to defer the bill. That's not something that I heard. So that would be news to me. You might be educating me. But these, by the way,
with the testimonies, it's in the testimony, it's a letter.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I hear a lot of people testifying that we should defer the bill until Ernst & Young is done. I haven't heard that directly from the consultant. So you might be right. I might be mistaken.
Thank you. Go ahead, Austin.
Hello. I think our city councilwoman should have some type of training session on this to our neighborhood board for transparency, the impact study on this itself. Because the way I see it right now, you have one bill kind of collusively operating to another bill. Bill 64, Bill 46 is casual related. Because you look at what Bill 64 is, it allows the state to must be licensed, certified, and registered and monitored by the state for group living housing. So this is an opportunity for the state to get properties simply. They don't have to have DPP to monitor it or come before the neighborhood board. This is a property type of grabbing, the way I see it. They're going to force the landowner by means of putting more tax on you, on that. It's more of an impact. The state already has high rates on just living over here. So this Bill 46 is actually contributed actually from Bill 64 as well too. It's related. You think about it, it's related. Group living housing, state operations, from the courts to the prisons to the IHS, from the human services, whoever it may be under the state, they don't have to be regulated or come before the neighborhood board. Think about it. That's all I have. Think about it.
Please, so said it. The Bill 64, you have to think twice. You have to listen to the people because they're looking at.
Sorry, Chair, are we on 46 or 64? Thank you.
Sorry,
64, well, 46.
yes.
They're demanding the homeowners to do something about it, whether they have an empty house. Well, let me tell you, if I have an empty house, I pay the taxes. They don't pay the taxes. And if I'm waiting for my niece to come home so I can put her in my home, that's my prerogative. I'm not going to have allowed the government to bully me and tell me what to do with my extra property. Oh, Wally. I don't tell you what to do in your backyard. You don't tell what to do in my backyard. Bad enough, you're telling me I have excessive building on a agriculture that I brought. Hello, donkey. I brought it with all those buildings. And I'm going to get fined for it? I don't think so. Before you start giving me a citation, you better start giving your encampment citation on city property. I'm not violating city laws. I'm not turning around going down and building all shelters on the beaches. So, Bill 64 needs to be expunged. And there need to be more collaboration and stop the government bullying. Because I pay my bills. When you pay my bills, then you talk story.
Thank you, Clay.
No board.
Hold on, hold on, David. Let me go to online first.
Test.
Okay, go ahead, Jermaine.
Mahalo, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My question is regarding this empty house or empty unit tax. How are they going to enforce it? How are they going to have evidence or proof that the individual is not in the home? And is it like, what is the perimeters? If they're not home for, if they're not in that occupying that unit for 6 months or 4 months or 12 months, what is the perimeters of the bill as far as when that tax will take place? So enforcement, how they're going to get evidence and proof. And then the second one is what is the guidelines as far as that the penalties will kick in or the tax will kick in? Thank you.
Thank you, Jermaine.
Chair, I can respond if you'd like, Thorn.
You can go ahead and respond.
Yeah, great questions. I'll try to be brief. Yes, 6 months is generally the cutoff. If the owner resides in the property for 6 months, if they rent it long-term for 6 months, it would not be subject to the new tax class. As far as enforcement, they're still working that out, but a lot of people are thinking it could be the same as the current homeowner's exemption, owner occupancy, where that largely relies on the self-declaration of the individual. And if the city wants to audit a homeowner's exemption, I guess they can, but my understanding is they're quite limited in what they can do. So they largely take the resident's word for it unless there are complaints. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's a waste of time because we don't even have resources to check up on DPP violations. And I don't know how we're going to find enforcement team to knock on doors or get paperwork, or how are they gonna, I just don't understand it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jermaine. Go ahead, in person.
Good evening, board. David Corona, my Ely resident. And I understand Ross, I believe his name was, is here presenting his point of view and support for Bill 46. But I would love to hear from Councilmember Tupola on her position and things about it, since she is our district council member. So I see three things with this bill. One is you either sell your property, two, you rent your property, or three, you pay a fine. And so in my opinion, I heard someone say it a moment ago, and I'm going to, that's one of the things I was saying. I feel it's discriminatory against a homeowner, someone who owns property, to be told that they have to sell your home, rent your home, or pay an additional fine because you choose to leave your house vacant. Now, there's different scenarios out there. Scenario is someone's maybe fortunate enough to own a property, but they have to leave Hawaii for whatever reason. But they come back to that property throughout the year, not for 6 months, but a couple of weeks, a month, leave, come back because they have other requirements and necessities. So now by this bill, the way it's currently written, that doesn't wash. They have to be here for 6 months out of the year. And that doesn't seem right to me. So I just think it's important, as the board was stating, that we have to, those that are supporting or not supported, to please submit your testimony, go down to the council and give your testimony if you can, and provide your position. But I just want to make that clear. They did put provisions in there for residents, but however, if you're forced to have to move for other reasons and you have to become a resident because you got to work, got to pay the bills, but you do come back to Hawaii, you have to stay for 6 months to not be enforceable on this bill. Doesn't seem right to me. So you're forced to sell, rent, or pay an additional tax, which is not right. So my stance is I don't support it in its current form. So thank you very much, and please reach out to Councilmember Tupola and engage with her and attend the council meetings, submit your testimonies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board, good evening. Chris Moroka. So like Board Member Perry had mentioned, this bill almost seems like it's going to force you to rent it. So if you own the house and you say, I want to rent my house for $3,500, it's quite steep. People cannot afford it. So under this bill, the way I hear it, I've only read the bill a little bit. I'm not thoroughly understanding of it yet. But if they assess you and they want to tax you because your house is empty, do you have a rebuttal to say, no, you cannot tax me because it is for rent? There's just no renters who can afford it, right? But I do have a alternate. It could work both ways, and I would strongly suggest we try a pilot program on DHHL. There's a lot of Hawaiian homes empty. Why don't DHHL pay a higher tax? That'll help in so many ways. It'll get them off their butt. It'll get people off the list. It seems like a really, really easy one.
Okay, hold on, for clarification, this is our new state representative, Chris Morioka, guys, just in case you don't know who he is. Oh yes, and Samantha DeCourt, congratulations. Excited to our new state senator?
Hi, I'm Sherry Natura from Makaha side. I've been attending this Waianae neighborhood board meeting, and each time that I come up here just to kind of share, discuss, I just wanted to piggyback on Austin Salcedo's response in regards for group living houses. Now, when we come up here and we present, I just want to make sure that our voice is very concerned. Just want to make sure that some actions are being taken. Not sure what taking so long just to have something resolved. Now, I hate to say something like, when something happens within our neighborhood, do we just ignore the fact and just turn our head away? With these group living homes, I mean, there's so much, I've never seen this much in our neighborhood. And there's so much, you know, people that's living in the house that I know that they're there, but people are just being blindsided. So regarding for Austin Salcedo, I just really wanted to take this into consideration because we come up here to, you know, say our concern about keeping safety within our community. But let's take this into action without expecting something else going to happen to our own kids. How is it that we can be able to stand and say, oh, we should have done something about it? These group living houses that's establishing within our community is getting out of hand. It needs to be inspected. It needs to be double checked to see why is it that they're not disclosing their business on a Google search.
Excuse me, ma'am. I do apologize. This is for Bill 46. Bill 64 was presented in community issues. So right now we're just establishing for Bill 46.
Okay.
So thank you. Your concerns are addressed and you can bring it to our subcommittees as well. As well as non-Cooley subcommittee is happening tomorrow night at 8 o'clock to kind of go more, discuss more with Bill 64.
Okay,
in
thank you
detail.
so much for
Okay,
sharing.
you're welcome. So Ross, I think that's it for your presentation. I do appreciate your time and explaining it, and I do appreciate community for bringing up your inputs.
Thank you, Chair.
We're gonna
Thank
go
you,
ahead
Board.
and, yes, happy holidays, Ross. Moving forward, we're gonna go ahead with a summary of recognition for 5.2, which is the Waianae Store recognition of 75 years. So there is a write-up for her done by Board Member Wilbur, Tiana Wilbur. And I'm just gonna summarize the write-up. Basically, it's saying that we're recognizing Waianae Store, the Okamoto Corp family for 75 years of presence and appreciation to our community of local businesses, fostering resilient, self-sustaining community, reinforcing a spirit of aloha and mutual care that defines the Waianae region. The Waianae Coast Neighborhood Board honors Waianae Store on its 75th anniversary, express gratitude for its ongoing service, and celebrates its continued presence as cherished part of the Waianae Ohana. Cheers to another 75 years in our moku. The Waianae community wouldn't be whole without the beloved Ohana. Waianae Coast Board number 24. Okay. Okay, we're moving on to section 6 of our for board business. Approval of Tuesday, September 3rd and Tuesday, October 1st minutes. Jeff, I'll have you go ahead and call that. Okay. Okay. All in favor for approval? Say aye.
Chair,
Yes, Board Member Perry.
I couldn't find the minutes online.
Okay.
Board Member Perry, just to clarify with the vote, are you voting nay or abstaining from the vote?
Abstaining. I didn't see it on the website, so therefore I could not read it. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying.
Chair,
Yes, Joe Jordan.
I would
Richard
like
Church.
to abstain from the September 3rd, 2024 and October 1st, 2024 board meetings minutes because I was not a board member at that time. So abstaining on both. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Joe Jordan. Any others? All right, need approval for approval. Okay, minutes have been approved. Okay, we'll move into 6.2, approval for Tuesday, December 3rd agenda. All in favor for approval? Any apps? Any input? Good. Okay, aye. All approved. Minutes have been approved. Okay. Hey, 6.4, consideration of aligned subcommittees not being held with the Nanakuli Neighborhood Board. Of course, Nanakuli Board's chair is here as well, and I kind of talked with her a little bit about it. But I wanted to get our input first. And the reason why is that my name is on a bunch of subcommittees, but as a chair of the neighborhood board, I'm not supposed to chair any subcommittees as well. So we're gonna defer that though, because with our new members, if they're wanting to take up any of these subcommittees, that is available under my name. So we'll go ahead and defer that if that's okay. Okay. We'll defer for next month. Okay. Thank you. See, 6.5, reconsideration to recess on January 25th, 2025, January 2025. We had said that we would recess, but I think we're going ahead and keep with it. Is that still a,
Second, that if we get a motion.
yeah, we keep the recess?
Reinstate the month that we lost.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'll motion keeping the reconsideration to recess for January 2025. Your second.
Second.
And then Clay Wilbur is seconding the motion to continue having our meeting in January. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are we having a meeting or not?
We are having a meeting.
Meeting, okay.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Any objections? Okay. It's approved. Moving forward. Yes, that is to have a meeting in January. Okay, 6.6, report board members' attendance at other board meetings and declaration. Jeffrey, can you do a roll call on that one? We'll go ahead, start off with Mr. Endo first.
Okay, so for this, I want to call your name, board members, please share your attendance at other meetings that you have attended. And again, we'll start with board member Endo.
I can't remember the date, the meeting we went up in the valley. It's a Saturday. Was that 26? It was a really good meeting to resolve the issues he had brought up. Very educational.
Board member Lanford.
Yeah, I had two meetings with Nanakuli Transportation Committee, as well as there was a back-to-back. One was for the DPP and the other one was the Transportation Committee. I can't remember the date. Maybe the chair can refresh my memory, but getting kind of old over here. I'll look it up. Jeff, I'll get it to you.
Thank you, Mr. Lanford.
Board member Perry.
November town hall meeting, Rep. Keelan. Thank you.
Thank you, board member Bahilani.
I also attended that meeting up Kaala. Mike, it was October 26th. Yeah.
Board member Clay Wilbur.
Yeah, I attended the same meeting up at Mall on the 26th. I also attended a meeting with the mayor and director of Park and Recs in Chambers. And I was on the 22nd of November, and October, and in November 22nd, we did a walk around with the deputy directors for all the parks, the deputy director for Park and Recs and city management. And there's a lot of them. I can't remember right now.
Board member Joe Jordan.
Although I wasn't on the board in November, I will disclose I attended the Liebert Housing Coalition on November the 21st.
Board member Dana Newman online.
Yeah, I would like to abstain just because there's so many meetings that I've attended, and yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you right at this specific time.
Thank you. And Chair Gannabon.
I attended the DOT meeting with Mr. Lanford at the Nanakuli Subcommittee. That was on November 20th. I've also been part of the board for the sewer rates. And so I can answer some of those questions offline for those who have questions with that. But majority of it was due to the upgrades. And that was all right now that be concerned for the board. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Let's see here. We're going to now consideration to adopt resolution regarding the adoption of good government reforms. This resolution has been going over different neighborhood boards regarding our new legislation, new Senate, and making sure that their adoption of good government reforms are happening. Not sure if any of you guys were able to review that resolution that was sent forward, but we're going to go ahead and vote on that. 6.7. So, all in favor for adopting resolution regarding the adoption of good governance reforms, say aye. Aye. Any objections? Absent?
Chair,
Yes.
I would like to abstain from this. I didn't see it attached to the current agenda for this evening, so I haven't had an opportunity to review this resolution.
Thank you, Board Member Jordan.
Perry.
Board Member Perry.
Okay, I abstain. Is this has to do with Coming Cause Hawaii 2022?
This is the new resolution that they came up to address the new Ledge and Senate.
What's the bill number or reso? You know, you need to identify resos, bill numbers, so that I can check on it. This generic, it really doesn't help me to do any research. So for that reason, I'll go ahead and abstain. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jeff.
For the record, this resolution is from a third-party organization, not going through the legislature itself, which is why there's no reso number yet. This is something that's going through all of the neighborhood boards for approval for this upcoming legislative session. I just wanted to clarify that for the board members.
Okay. Resolution has been approved. Jordan, you have board member Jordan.
Yeah, Chair, was this ever presented before the board?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was? When, so I could review the,
Yeah. It's-
you can email me. Thank you.
Forward, Jordan.
And me.
Okay. Now, 6.8, we need a new secretary and timekeeper. Any names? Anyone wants to volunteer for these positions? Joe, would you like to be the board secretary? Board member Joe Jordan?
Not at this time. Thank you, Chair, for the consideration.
I'll volunteer, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Board Member Perry. All in favor of Board Member Johnny May Perry being our secretary, say aye. Aye. Board Member Johnny May Perry is our new secretary. Our timekeeper, would our biggest board member, Mr. Clay Wilbur, like to be our timekeeper? As well as our vice chair.
2 minutes. Yeah.
Thank you. All in favor of our new timekeeper, Board Member Clay Wilbur? Say aye.
Say aye. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Dana. Oh yeah, I forgot about you, Dana. Sorry about that. Okay, moving on to our elected officials. Representative for Congressman Joe Takuta's office. Your representative
Aloha.
from-
Yes.
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi. Aloha board and chair. I am Emelina Tori, Congresswoman Takuta's community relations manager. I wanted to give an update on an upcoming event that everyone is invited to. Congresswoman Takuta will be holding a statewide telephone town hall next week, Wednesday, December 11th, from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Hawaii time. The Congresswoman will be answering questions from participants live over the phone. She'll be providing a legislative update and discussing her priorities for the upcoming 119th Congress. So those who are interested in joining are encouraged to RSVP to be added to the call list so that you will receive a call when the event starts. For more information and to RSVP, please visit the event section on the Congresswoman's website or call her Hawaii office at 808-746-6220. And I'll post this information in the chat as well. I don't know yet if the communications team has posted it on the website, but it should be there soon. The Congresswoman is back in DC working with her colleagues to get a lot done before the end of the year. One of their biggest priorities is to pass a continuing resolution to fund the government into 2025. Unfortunately, this means that we don't have any updates yet on any of the community project funding requests that we had received earlier this year. But we will work with everyone to keep you all informed as we continue into 2025. I also know that it's been a while since our office has provided an update to this board. And so I just wanted to let you know of the Congresswoman's activities in Waianae since we last updated you all. She had a chance to visit the Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center's Social Services Food Warehouse, where she learned about how federal funding through the USDA grants have provided support to our community. She also visited US Vets Waianae Civic Center to learn more about their work, and she also paid a visit to Waianae Intermediate, which she thoroughly enjoyed, and she had the opportunity to talk to the students there to learn about their thoughts on community safety and also the amazing things that they are doing. That's all from, one last update is that Military Academy nominations, the applications have closed, and we wanted to thank all students who have applied. Applicants will be notified sometime this month about whether they received a nomination from the Congresswoman, and the nominations will be made public in a press release in late January of 2025. So that's all from me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Any
Chair
board member?
Perry.
Yes, Board Member Perry.
Emily, can you come back on screen?
Yes.
Okay. Can you take this back to Vice President Harris? Winning an election in 107 days was nearly impossible. Can I see your face on the screen, please?
Board Member Perry, it's the setup is for the whoever is speaking
Okay.
will show up on screen.
So the incoming president, congratulations. However, he had 8+ years to strategize and to build his team. I am really concerned about Medicare benefits. I am really concerned of Medicaid. I'm not a the concern is real. Whoever's getting Medicaid and Medicare. There's a coin phase, and all voters need to be very, very vigilant. Even Jill, her seat will be up in 2 years. So everybody in DC, everybody in Hawaii need to be very vigilant from here on forward. There's a coin phase. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So all I'm saying, everyone be vigilant. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Board Member Perry. Any other board members? We are moving on. Governor Green's representative. Governor Green's representative. I know he did send out a report. Since no, Governor Green's representative is not present today, we're gonna go ahead and move to our new state senator, Samantha DeCourt. Congratulations again with her staff.
Aloha board members, Samantha D. Court, State Senate elect, here in District 22 from Ko'olina all the way to Ka'ena. I know I only have 2 minutes, so I really want to introduce my team, my staff. They've been so excited to be committed to serve us here on the Waianae Coast, the 96792. So I'm going to start off with my Chief of Staff, Malia Augustin. She's Nanakuli Homestead, 6th generation, 5th generation. And then also I have, thank you. And then also I have Nia Tatofi. She's my legislative aide. Her family lives up Waianae Valley Road. Bronson Myers, who is my session staff. Waianae Valley Homestead, who has 6 generations of family here on the coast. Everybody know Bronson. And since being elected, our minority caucus was able to vote, in which I was voted as the minority floor leader. We've also been able to expand, yes, we've also been able to expand our resources and have hired a research team that also serve our 96792. So I would like to introduce first and foremost, Crystal Akana Pang. She serves as our Senate Minority Research Director. She is the eyes and ears and alerts us about bills and issues that affect our everyday lives. Mark Taleai, over there at the end, serves as our Communication Director. He has the 2nd largest independent social media platform, and Mark's going to be the one to help us get our message out. Callista Mitchell serves as our researcher. She's born and raised Makaha. If you folks remember, 808 Gracie Fighter at Coronets, that was her family. And lastly, we are in the process of hiring an attorney to ensure we have checks and balances in the legislature and possibly challenge some bills that violate our rights and potentially hinder us here on the Waianae Coast. So we're ready to get in there and to show you here how dedicated the Minority Caucus is to the Waianae Coast. We have brought in 5 of our own. And as the state senator-elect, it's important that I ensure our voices are being heard and our needs are being met. So with that, I just want to mahalo you. Thank you very much. We're honored to serve you. We're excited. We're ambitious. We're ready for it. So thank you. Thank you.
Any questions for our state senator?
Perry.
Board Member Perry.
Samantha, you know, the veterinarians, they implant chips on animals, right? They implant them. So when the animal get lost, they can be found, the owner can be found through the chip. So consider having something like that for humans. Because if it happens to me, I don't want to be known as a Jane Doe. No, honestly, okay, people, there's people who have dementia, people who have mental illness, they don't know who they are. So I'll be the first to have an implant because I don't want to be known as a John Doe once my mind is gone. So consider something like that in legislation, at least start a discussion. You know, there was a suicide bill, it passed. Okay? If you feel you want to end your life, there's a bill that you can choose to end your life. So with technology, this is an option. It's working fine on animals. Why not humans? There's people wandering around, and I just don't want to be known as a Jane Doe. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Perry.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Board Member.
Hey, Samantha, mahalo and congratulations. So, Tijani may brought up about animals. So, um, for us as people, I get three fur babies too, and I love our legged family members. So I was thinking, but the veterinarian bills is so PPE expensive. So I mean, if there's some type of bill that can be like, for, probably for Chris, because he's a owner, right? He's a business owner, but for employees that, we get benefits, medical and whatnot, is there something that can put in for our fur babies, because they're part of our ohana as well, you know what I mean? And going to the vets, that's very PPE. So if, since Auntie Johnny May brought up about animals, it's like, hey, might as well hit you up right now about that, but mahalo.
Yeah, I did not think she was going to go there with the chips. But what I will say is that I have three fur babies of our own, and veterinarian expenses are very expensive. So our office will look into that.
Any other board members for comments? We'll go back to the community.
Very good.
You guys have questions?
Hello, my Raquel Araki from Makaha. Congratulations, Samantha. We're so proud and happy to work with you and your team. We'd like to be updated constantly, at least as much as possible, about the liberation of Makua and the rest of the ceded Hawaiian land with the military lease coming up in 2029. Thank you.
Congratulations, Honorable Senator Samantha Decor. Appreciate that. Awesome. At least we're going to have you in person and our House Representative, Honorable House Representative, in person at our Community Neighborhood Board meeting for once, not on virtue. You see our eyes, our faces, our compassion, and we're going to appreciate your representation because we know we're going to have transparency. And we're going to make sure that our state will have the transparency for our neighborhood board for collaboration along with our city as well. Everybody picks on our city councilwoman, but tell you what, the state has their share of how they're impacting on the west side. Group living housing especially, we're going to have to address that. Why we don't have available affordable housing? Because the state is taking them because of their operations. We need to look at that type of issues. But welcome on board and congratulations.
I just wanted to hold my kai aoi ke kai. I mahalo for having folk of Waianae on your team. That's super, super important for our people to be able to speak about our issues. Yeah. I know when you were going through the start of this, you had mentioned that you were not for kauhale. That hit heavy for me because that's super important for our community. Yeah. And just want to remind you and your team that we cannot forget our kupuna ways. Yeah. Kauhale is one of them. Yeah. It's a different way. It's our way. Yeah. And so let's talk story. Yeah. Because others did not want to talk story. And sometimes that's all we need to do is vala'au. Yeah. And so I congratulate you. Mahalo. As far as being transparent, so far you've been that for me at the moment. What's super important for a leader is being pono. And pono not meaning righteous, meaning balance. Yeah. Yeah. There's many ways to be balanced. And one of the many ways of these places is our cultural ways. Right? So just hold mana'o that. Just remember that. Hello. Oh. And I'll forget three of you guys, because you'll hear a lot from me
Sorry, let me just weigh in on some of the responses really quickly. With Raquel, it was my priority to be on a few committees to make sure that our voices are being heard when it comes to issues that pertain to our coast. And that is water and land, which I'm on that committee, which I have very intentionally placed myself on there so we can continue to advocate for Makua to be returned back to the people. So just to state where I stand on that and also how I position myself to make sure that we do have a voice, Waianae does have a voice on these committees. And then I do make the commitment to be here in person. I feel like that's very important. I'm very much face-to-face kind of a person. So it's important for me to be here in person. And then also, yes, Nani, yes, thank you very much. We have had our discussions and she shared her concerns. I shared my concerns. And so I think that dialogue is very healthy. The balance is very healthy. I think, you know, for people in this room and maybe people that are watching online or people that have not met me yet, I'm always going to be true to where I stand on things. I'm not going to tell you things because that's what you want to hear. But I will always make a commitment to have that discussion. You won't find me avoiding you. And if you do, you know where these guys live. So you just go to their house, they'll come to my house, and then we can just talk story about that. But I just wanted to answer that before I forget.
Thank you, Samantha. You're the best. Yeah, I'm not as tall as you are, okay? But good evening. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming back on the board. And my name is Blanca Larson, and I live in the leeward side forever. But I am here to tell Samantha, thank you so much for running and congratulations. And you don't have to worry about people not knowing you. Everybody in Hawaii knows you, okay? So, but thank you so very much. Thank you for your board to, you know, for you to pick them. Thank you so much. So much hope. But I wanted to say something for you to take it with you to see what can you do, because our children's in our schools are getting mapped on everyday basis. Some are afraid to even leave the house. We had to take my grandson out of the school because he was getting mapped and he was going to get mapped if he didn't get out of the school. So we have a choice to bring him home. And now we don't have no more homeschooling assistance of any kind. If you take your kid out of the school, you're responsible, you figure out how to teach him, you know? And so, and it's hard for a 13 years old to get him to do what we want him to do, to teach him in the school. So I don't think all that responsibility should be put on us. I mean, I know we have to be responsible, but you will figure out what to do about. One of our good friends, the daughter don't want to go. She don't want to take the daughter out, but she has not been in the school for 3 months because she's afraid to leave the house. Another 13 years old. My grandson got beat up going to his boxing class at the park. So some girl called him where she had other boys to meet him, and they beat him up and they kick him in the head. He's a good boxer, he can fight, but he's only 13. And this guy was at high school and big and tall. My grandson is skinny and at 13 years old. So he could not defend himself against all of them. So they beat him up. We went to the emergency room. He had the symptoms of concussion. And we were told to watch him. And he did have those symptoms for about 2 weeks. He was disassociated and he looked like, you know, he cannot focus now. You know, I mean, I really have to go and check on a small task, you know, even picking up branches. He will sit there and just go dilly-dallying, and that is not him. So I hope it's temporary, but my grandson is not the only, it's not an isolated case, yeah? There are many. We put him in the twilight or something, a class that they go to school, like late 2 to 6. But then the danger was there. The people that beat him,
Okay.
they were hanging around. So,
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we actually, one thing is good is our state representative is also on the educational portion of it as well. So it will be addressed by a 3-4 prong point. So that is good. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that.
Hey, aloha again. I might vote for her. I just want to change for Waianae and Chris. I'd vote for them too, because I wanted change already. We was tired. We tired. Our community's tired. We like, no, when people build stuff here, planning and permitting, we like the action already, you know what I mean? And as Kanakas, we not minority, we is the majority. But this is where all the Kanakas live. They live 96792. That's where we all live. But yeah, I mean, it says right there, HRS 101, the people. And we is the people of Waianae. And gotta represent us. And we just like know the planning and permitting, what's happening. We like know what's going on in our community. So we know what kind of projects is happening over here. Because I'm an iron worker too, but that's what I like. I like know what they're doing in the mountain, desecrating, wherever they're gonna build or whatever they're doing. Thank you, Aloha. Thank you.
Kale, before we go, we're gonna go online to Jermaine.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead, Jermaine.
Chair. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Senator. What I wanted to share is that I'm hoping that the Waianae Neighborhood Board next month's meeting will support the adopt good government reforms. The Mo'ili'ili Makali Neighborhood Board had adopted, and I want to read it because I think this will support some of the things that our senator has been talking about during her campaign. And so,
Jermaine,
yes.
sorry, we adopted it already. It was
You-
approved on our end.
Oh, I thought you guys said that I didn't
At
hear
this
you guys
meeting, we
vote
just
on
did it
it.
at this meeting. Yeah, we did the vote. We had 2 abstains on our board,
Oh,
but
okay,
we
because
went
some
ahead.
didn't, you just didn't read the reform then.
Yes.
Ah, okay, okay. Because I heard some say that they didn't hear it, and I just thought it was really important to pass it. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to make sure that we want to support our new senator and our new representative, and these are great reforms that will help them in the legislature. Mahalo.
Thank you. Okay, Kale.
Kale, congratulations again. The thing I really want you to look into is third world country, outside, especially in California's nonprofit organizations branching out in Hawaii. You know, when they branching out, gentrification is continuing coming to our islands. This is my home. I born and raised here. I do not want to lose my home because I cannot avoid it. We need to stop that. What they call paradise. It's my home where I gave birth to all my children and I hanai children and show them what is love and aloha. So to work is not an easy thing. It's hard to find ho'oponopono when you get different entities into it. But remember, Hawaii, all Hawaiian Islands, home. Do not let us be priced out of our homes. We have proponents that's already selling their homes because they say they can't afford. And our government has the audacity to allow that. Our previous, yes, in our backyard, no, not in our backyard. Enough is enough. Help our kupunas. Help my generation to come, my grandchildren and children to stay in their home, stay on the island. Hawaii, we call home. We don't call gentrification. We call it home. That's what I have to say.
Thank you. We got one more person, Board Member Wilbur.
Hello, Sam. Congratulations. I was recently looking at some of the flyers that Waikiki puts out there for our tourists. And in one of the captions advertising, now I'm not gonna, I mean, if you guys were able to look at it, you'll see clearly there. They're showing a picture of a person laying down next to a turtle. Yeah, and this is what the message that our state is giving the tourists, that it's okay to go and do whatever you like. And this is in the Waikiki, in the airports. It's right there. You grab it right off the, it's one of their tourist advertising magazines. So real concern about that. And out here, you know, we have our lovely Hono that come up on the beach and stuff like that. And they, you know, they try to get a little comfortable. I know the neighbors do their due diligence to try and remind them to move away from the turtles, but it doesn't help when our government is allowing the tourism authority to go ahead and advertise. Yeah, go ahead. You can lay down next to the turtle, you know. But if that's something you can look into, I really would appreciate that. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you. I'm gonna just really quickly run through those responses. First and foremost, to Blanca, I also do sit on the committee for lower education for the reason specifically to continue to bring resources to our community here on the Waianae Coast. Safety has been an issue, which is why I have also joined the Public Safety Committee as well, and the Department of Transportation Committee and Hawaiian Affairs Committee. Land and Water, which, yeah. And so these were very strategic to our community because I believe that this will really help us to provide the resources to our community. So with regards to transportation, I am in that committee and we'll be reaching out to airports. Sure.
Chair, may I?
Go ahead. Board Member Jo-
Sorry for being late. First and foremost, congratulations. I look forward to working with you in your office. Secondly, since we don't have a governor's representative here, I have a concern. And my concern is I've been waiting for a real presentation from the governor's homeless coordinator, Mr. Mizuno. He did come to this board in September, but I would like him to come back to the community. If maybe you can encourage him to come back, because I would like to understand what his kauhale process is. I don't think that's fully been discussed with our community. And I would like to hear where they're going with some of the funds that they've already spent in different areas. And I'd appreciate that. Mahalo.
We'll do, Board Member Jordan.
Perry.
Go ahead, Board Member Perry.
The governor did send a letter out to the board members, and there was a meeting. The governor had a meeting, Nova Gradec Affordable Housing Summit, November 14th. Director Carly Watson shared that, well, in the letter, Carly Watson spoke about 7,000 homes in the next decade versus Hawaii Affordable Housing Pipeline Dashboard by the governor's housing team, 60,000 affordable housing units in the next decade. And over 14,000 of these units come online by 2026. There's 29,000 people on the HHL land list, and we only get 7,000 within a decade. And the governor's team gets 60,000 in the next decade. The math doesn't add up. The list goes back in the 70s. So they need to accelerate in getting the HHN land projects so that all 29,000 can be issued a home or ag lot, whatever it is on the wait list for. within the next decade versus what has been addressed at the summit? 7,000 versus 60,000 in the same period of time of the next decade. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll look into that as well. I just want to close with this. It sounds like everybody is pretty much asking just to be well communicated to. And I do want to see that that is an area that we can do better in. And please know that that is a discussion that we have all had collectively with our office and with our research office, that Waianae just wants to know what's going on. Very simple. We're asking for very basic things. These are not big things that we need to take months and years to get back to people on, but these are very basic things. So please know that this is a need and a desire that I have seen over the years of me serving in this community, that they just want to be a part of the process. They want to be a part of this discussions. Please know that I fully intend on providing the information as we get it. Sometimes we won't be able to get it as quickly as we would hope to, but please know that that really is a priority of our office, is just to let you know. And sometimes that might be, I don't know, sometimes we never get the answer yet. But please know that that is a need that I have seen, and we do strive to make sure that we stay in communication with you folks. So thank you very much, board. Thank you, community.
Chair.
Thank you, Senator.
I,
Go ahead. Board
yeah,
Member
thank
Blanco.
you. Thank you. Congratulations, Samantha. I want to reiterate that a lot of the discussion tonight is all discussion. We have a new president that's coming in, and a lot of the stuff that we want to make adjustments to, until we sit down with our new president and he lays out all of the ground rules for us. You know, we want to continue to have the open door relationship with our elected officials, and that's why we made the change, I guess. Waianae made the change. And so, you know, I want to thank our new elected officials in here, but we still got to deal with our current administration, which is our governor, our mayor, and whatever. So thank you, everybody, for showing up and you know, expressing you guys' concerns about our community. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Okay. Next is Representative Orioka.
Thank you, everybody. I'd like to start by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for having confidence and voting me in this position. Like Samantha, I felt really, really compelled to make sure all of my staff was rooted right here in Waianae. So I'll introduce my staff, my office manager, Miss Kelly Timoteo, born and raised her whole life here in Waianae. Another staff member, Miss Tanya Kaaina, Waianae president. Our session staff, and one of the, probably gonna be the one we work into the ground, yeah? You guys are, right? None other than our chair board, Philip Ganaban. Okay. We have a couple of other members that we haven't solidified yet, but in going with the theme of what I hear, I want to let you guys know that even during our campaign, I heard it. So when it comes to communication, I heard that. So I want you guys to know that I've already pulled the lease and have the office. Rep Muraoka will have a Waianae office. It's above Tasty Freeze right here in Waianae. Okay? We are going to be transparent. We are going to be engaged, and we are going to be communicating. Like our senator said, sometimes the answer might be, I don't know. We didn't get an answer yet, but you guys will get an answer. Anybody who has reached out to me, whether it be since I've been elected or even before, I give out my personal cell phone number. And as a business owner, it's on 24/7. Communication with our office will not be a problem. That I can promise you. And like the senator said, we will be at all these meetings in person because that's how we deal. We deal in person. Body language tells us a lot. You know, and seeing the sincerity of you folks being here in person, you guys elected us. We should be here. So those are some of the things we're working on. So like Samantha said, like our senator said, I was blessed in our committees. I got all the committees I requested: housing, transportation, education. The three things I campaigned on, the three things I ran on, the three things that is gonna help us right here in Waianae. With that, I'll be open for questions.
Any board members? Board Member Perry.
Perry. It's been a while since our state elected official had sat on the education committee. A long while. So I'm glad that both of you are heading educational committees and meet all the schools along the district. And I want to thank also SureCan, if you know that person, mahalo that person. Thank you.
I'll reach out to them. I think I do. But I also wanted to, we didn't mention, our community, the 9679 community, they voted myself, they voted our senator, and with our neighboring rep, Darius Kila, as well as our council person, our community, this 9679 community, we have so much bright future to look forward to. And like Uncle Richard over there said, we have a new president coming. We have a local tie to that president that we plan on leaning on. We are going to work our butts off to make sure we get movement out here in Waianae. If any of you guys know me on the personal level, you guys know that I'm very blunt. I mean, my campaign team had to tone it down because being in the Navy, I operate, my office manager can attest to this, I operate on the KISS symbol. The KISS symbol, right? Anybody who's been in the military knows what the KISS is, right? Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. And if we operate everything on the KISS method, it's very easy to understand.
Thank you. Board Member Dana, online.
So I just wanted to ask for more clarification on a comment that was made in regards to taxing those individuals on homesteads. Can you just expand your thoughts and ideas about taxation of homestead property?
Yes, absolutely. So I think, Mr. Dana, it wasn't taxing the people on homestead. It's the state wants to tax empty homes. Why don't we tax DHHL for having empty homes? Because if DHHL fixes that problem, we can put people on the list into those homes. So it wasn't about taxing the people in Hawaiian homelands. It's taxing DHHL for having empty homes on land that we could put the people on the list into those homes.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you.
Another thing we do plan with our Waianae office, another thing we do plan with our Waianae office is First Fridays, right? So we're working on location. We talked to Waianae High School, Waianae Intermediate. We plan on doing a First Friday talk story session. An informal just talk story. I want to know about the stuff like the Waianae Valley water main break that feels like you're driving through a brick wall when you cross over it. The stuff like the trees overgrowing across the Tamuras over the stoplight. That kind of stuff we're going to address right away, impact the Waianae community. Because when we start doing that kind of small stuff, the community starts caring, people start noticing, people start getting engaged again. We might not be able to create new laws and do all of this, but there are things that we can do that will make a difference right away.
We're going to the community that's in person, and then we'll go to online to Jermaine Perry. Jermaine.
Raquel Araki. Congratulations, Chris, and your team. Oh, thank you. We would be looking forward to hearing about the building that is being done in Waianae and how it can be done before the infrastructure is taken care of.
So really quick, it's not finalized yet, but we plan on introducing some type of bill, we're working on it, where it would kind of prevent major construction from happening without the infrastructure being upgraded to accept the major. I mean, we already have bad traffic. The roads get blocked. Like Anthony Calais said earlier, we got an accident, we shut down. I ran on our access roads. So our community cannot handle more construction. So we are going to be looking into seeing what we can do about major infrastructure upgrades before any major construction is done. You know, if you read that letter, that article you brought up, one thing in that article I think everybody should read because it'll piss the true Waianae people off. It says they want to build that housing area to mirror or eclipse Waikiki. We don't want that out here in Waianae.
Online, Jermaine Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations, Representative. I appreciate your comments about DHHL and their empty house. We have over 50 of them in Nanakuli Homestead alone. There's 1,050 homestead lots in Nanakuli Homestead. There's over 50 that is unoccupied because it's been boarded up. It's going through a long time process of eviction, or the people were already evicted, but DHHL hasn't done anything with the dwelling or with the property. Many of them over 10 years, many of them over 20 years unoccupied. So I like to, I know that Act 279 comes through the House. There's a working group under, well, previously Representative Nakamura, but now she's your Speaker of the House. I'd like to highly encourage that you drop in on that Act 279 and, you know, ask DHHL how much of that Act 279 money will go towards, you don't have to buy utilities. I mean, you don't have to put in utility lines because it's already in developed homestead lots within current homesteads. There's also abandoned lots in Waianae Valley, all over the entire states, not just on our island. So I'm grateful that you brought up that comment because it really does highlight a systemic problem that's been going on with the department for a long time. And I hopefully Kali Watson and Governor Green will, you know, get that problem resolved during their term. Mahalo.
Thank you, Auntie Jermaine. There was a nice lady from Nanakuli. She sent me all the statistics of empty houses and we won't mention her name, but she's a really nice lady from Nanakuli. And using some of that information, we are also planning on trying to do some type of reso or bill with DHHL that would have DHHL confiscate those houses that sit abandoned. I mean, there's no reason that we have 50 houses in Nanakuli sitting abandoned with 29,000 people on the list. You know, so there's ways, again, like I said, we look at the common sense approaches to a lot of these things and we're gonna try and apply them.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Mahalo.
Actually, Honorable House Representative, you're already taking the solutions to achieve a solution right now because of the complaints. That's great. But the people gotta understand, when you bring out something, we still have to support you in legislation. We have to provide testimony at the House of Hearings. And people have to come out from the west side to support our representative, House Representative and our senator, whatever the measures they pushed out, we have to be there to support it. But first, read what's out there. So we'll then be transparent. I know these people that we voted in office. And then we're going to be there at the Capitol to support their initiatives. Again, thank you. You're already getting the answers already.
Thank you.
No, not yet, but I also wanted to just mahalo and congratulate you as well. I am freaking excited for what's to come with both these teams right now. Yeah, and so, brah, let's make changes in Waianae. Yeah, mahalo, Chris. I don't know you too well, but I am so interested. What? I'm interested to get to know you a lot more, and I'm glad we got like fresh meat on, on the platform.
Super fresh.
Mahalo.
Hey, Chris, hey, congratulations. Good job out there. Big concern is gonna happen next year, being that you guys are with transportation, and that's the renovation of I can't think of the name, Uliava's Bridge. And that is going to really put a thorn in everybody's side. Have you guys solidified the alternate routes and gotten all the documentation done so that that bypass road can be open for the community to use?
Here we go with the honesty. I don't know, but I will get you an answer. The one thing I do know is I hope the city and the state learn the valuable lesson when they pick the contractor, so we don't have a fiasco like we did at Miley Point.
Okay, due to time management, thank you, Representative Chris Morocco. Thank you very much, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and move on with Darius Keela or his representative. Are they here tonight? Okay, we're gonna be moving on. Let's go ahead with Mayor's rep, Director Don Apuna.
Aloha,
Don
can
is
you hear me?
online.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Thanks, Don.
Hi, thank you. I have a couple of follow-ups from last time. One was, is there a program to provide assistance in paying a water bill? The Board of Water Supply says that water is an essential need and has worked hard to keep water affordable to our customers. In our rate schedule, there's an essential needs tier that applies to the first 2,000 gallons of water used each month to cover basic indoor water needs such as cooking, drinking, and personal hygiene. This rate is the Board of Water Supply's actual cost to serve water to its customers. Although the Board of Water Supply does not have its own financial assistance program, we can set up a payment arrangement with a customer who has financial hardship or refer customers in need to local agencies that may be able to assist them. Please have residents call our Board of Water Supply customer care staff at 748-5000, option 4 for assistance. The second item is, what can HPD do to help decrease the amount of drug houses in the community? HPD Narcotics Vice Division is aware of the ongoing illegal narcotics and game room activity in District 8 and asks the community for their cooperation. To report a game room or resident selling drugs, concerned citizens may call Crime Stoppers at 955-8300 or the Narcotics Vice Division at 723-3933. With the help of the public, we can attempt to decrease the amount of illegal activity occurring in our community. That's all I have, but I'm here to answer any question. Thank you.
Board Member Perry, go ahead.
Hi, Don. Happy holidays. Two questions. Status of the landfill. What's going up? There's a project on Pokai Bay Drive and Farrington Highway. With the status, what is it? And also I want to thank the mayor and NCO office for inviting the Waianae Coast Neighborhood Board to have a display at Kapolei Hali. This year's theme was showing aloha. So Tiana and I were the designers and the creators of the tree and the balcony. So instead of focusing on showing aloha to like a tourist kind of theme, we decided to focus on our community, showing aloha to one another in our community. So our design is showing aloha in our community, which we feel it should be shared in the community first before abroad. Next, I want to also thank Work Hawaii Youth Division of coming to Waianae Public Library the first Monday to reach out to the youth to employment information. And that's all I have for you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Going into community.
Aloha, Raquel Araki here. So 2025 was announced to be rediscovering Hawaii's soul, and I think that's a very appropriate messaging. And on soul, the community would like to know what percentage of the Waianae Valley solar field comes back to the 96792 community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Community,
I got it. Aloha, Don. This is also Salcedo speaking. Coming on tonight's meeting, and please stay on board when our representative Andrew Topolo is on board, because it's going to tie in. There's some things that's coming down the pipeline regarding the Makaha Gateway market on that property itself. There's a lot of state operations that's not basically involving our city DPP department, conditional use permit.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Don.
Thank you.
any other board members? Board member Joe Jordan.
Sorry, I have to turn it on. Aloha, Don.
Aloha.
Question. What is the process when I may identify maybe a group home such as a clean and sober, a mental health home, whatever we refer them to as, if I feel that it might not be a legitimate home, what is that process with Department of Planning and Permitting? Who do we call? How do we call, and what do we need to provide?
Yes, thanks, Joe. You can call our department 768-8000 and ask whether it is a permitted group living facility under a conditional use permit. You can also go online to our website and put in an inquiry there as well. And so we can look at it and determine if it's permitted or not. If it's permitted and you think that they're not following some basic conditions, we can look at that too, and we can monitor and see if they're operating properly under our conditional use permit.
Thank you, Don. Any other questions? Okay, moving on to our council members, Andrea Topola's office.
Good evening, Chair, board members, and community members. Kika Tupeni. Andrea likes to call us her community case managers, not her liaison. She doesn't like the word liaison. But I'm good with that because we're not fancy words here. But we emailed you folks a bunch of the bills, especially Bill 46, that council member is opposed of Bill 46 and will oppose on the city council. She thinks it's not fair for the communities and the families, and thinks that there should be a better way if they're going to move forward with Bill 46. If we're going to be fair to the community, then it has to be a better protocol. But she's opposed of Bill 46. Other than that, we do want to thank everybody that had joined us for our last community cleanup at Ulihava and Nanakuli. That's our last community cleanup of the year, 2024. So we'd like to thank everyone for that. Just a quick story. We got a surprise front loader that day. So 2 front loaders showed up at the park, and that one front loader, we ended up not sending them away, and we took them up to Waianae Valley where the boat was that Nani had called. So this is where it goes, where community has to say something. You see something, say something. And when you do that, community members communicate through each other. So Nani had reached out, she put it out there, and then we got a call from another community member. It took us a while, but these kinds of things, like she said, government has to take a step on this, not us. And Andrea is government, but she used community members' resources to move that boat. it's hard work and sometimes it's not done either right or people don't like the way it's done. So we thank the community for stepping up and saying something, and also for stepping up to do something, you know. And if you guys do, please call me directly. I know a lot of people try to get a hold of Andrea, but I'm gonna put it out there. Please call me. I know everyone calls me, but I think you'll get a better answer if you call me directly, please. My phone number is 808-457-2855. Mind you, that's my personal cell phone number, so feel free to call it anytime. Other than that, we also would like to thank our elected officials. We'd like to congratulate you guys. I'm super excited to work with you and your team. I'm excited that we finally have more Waianae people in our community that's in this realm of work. I am the only person in my team that is from Waianae, so thank you for bringing more Waianae people to work for our government. Other than that, yeah, I have nothing else to report, and I'm over for questions.
Perry.
Go ahead, Board Member Perry.
Okay, so I got all your email regarding the sewer fees. I supported Reso 24. I'm not clear on Bill 62, Bill 46. I just feel that the city is not being transparent to all the homeowners, informing them of what's coming down the pipeline. And I appreciate this bill because less Opala in our landfills. Bill 64, FD1, CD1, 283 pages, summarize for me. And I'll make it the last. Council member to waive senior club fees. So if you're not aware, Pilila Park have a senior club program. I just learned that on Tuesdays. And it's throughout the island, various parks, they have a senior club program. And there's a fee that they pay to join. It's a 1-year fee. So I'm requesting that council member waive that fee. I already notified the park director to have it waived. I'll make this the last one. Council members sent something out regarding a concern about the Olympics in LA, I think 2026. And he's concerned about that. So is LA gonna send the homeless people to Hawaii? I know in California, they're busing them out, BUS to other counties. So are they being proactive of this unsheltered population and cleaning their counties and state before the Olympics? Thank you.
Board Member George Jordan.
Yes. Good evening, Kika. Yesterday I was in a meeting and somebody brought up a concern. I didn't drive by it. I didn't see it. So I'm just going to state the concern to you and hopefully you guys could maybe address it. They were talking about Uliava 1 across from Princess Kahanu. They said there's an individual over there that has several doggies in, they said the word cages. I guess it's their animals. And they were very concerned that those animals are in those cages and could potentially be in the sun. So hopefully you can have a conversation with those individuals out there since you've already did the cleanup this past week. I'd appreciate that. And secondly, I'm seriously concerned about not having summer fund monies in this last budget to help with our waivers and our excursion fees. That money has been placed in the city and county budget probably for the last 25 years that I know of. So that means 1,200 children that are eligible to attend our Parks and Recreation Summer Fun program along this coastline either gets their waivers from the Department of Human Services if they're one of their clients. If not, they will have to pay those fees for their children to attend. So I'm just going to bring this to the council members' attention and see what potentially we could do between now and maybe April when those mailers go out for participants. Mahalo.
We'll go online, Jermaine Myers. And then Wilbur.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Kika, for coming to tonight's meeting. And please thank Councilmember Tupola. Mahalo her for hooking me up with the DEM director in order for us to get answers regarding the MOU. So I'd like to invite Councilmember Tupola or one of her staff members or you to come to our committee meeting tomorrow night for transportation. Starts at 7. And then 8 o'clock is housing and zoning. There was a hiccup with our agenda. I know I told many that it's going to start at 6. Unfortunately, there was a hiccup with the posting. So our transportation starts at 7 and our housing will start at 8. And I'll make the correction for the next time we have a meeting. But basically, I wanted to mahalo her for the clarifications that our community has been asking about opening up of the Pa'akia for in case of an emergency. And the acting director, Jennifer Walter from the Department of Emergency Management, it's them and HPD that determine when the gates will be open. But she did confirm that emergency situations can include major traffic accidents, water main breaks, natural disasters, and police related activities. So I want to encourage if you can come and because our committee will go over the documentation about the operating agreement, as well as the resolution that was introduced in 2019, as well as who has the keys. It includes the $1 million bridge over the Stink Pond from Zablan into Nanakuli Park that is part of that WCEAR. And so we're going to discuss it tomorrow, and I hope someone can represent Councilmember Tupola's office to our meeting. Thank you.
Board Member Wilbur.
Yeah, thank you, Kika, for coming. And thank Council Tupola for all her support in our community. I'd like to piggyback on what Joe Jordan was saying about the summer. There's also the feeding of those kids, and this food is provided for them in their 2 meals. If the program that she's talking about gets where these kids no longer are able to attend due to finances or get those meals, they're going to get into mischief. And a big concern is that they're going to start doing things in local grocery stores and start taking things and so on and so forth. So again, it's just trying to be more proactive, make sure that these kids are cared for, taken care of, help the families in our community. I mean, they do have to fight that traffic coming back home and so on and so forth. And but for the keiki, just to make sure that they're provided for, and it doesn't spill over into the businesses and so on and so forth. So if you can just really, thank you very much.
Go ahead with the community.
Aloha, Kika. Summarizing what had been happening with the Nanakuli board as well to our previous appointed Senator Cross Crab. Question was brought to his attention by one of the Nanakuli neighborhood board officials to get a measurement of all the group living, drug treatment, and all that's on the Senate District 22 area. But during his town hall meeting in Nanakuli, Nanakuli neighborhood board official did not receive any information that was requested that was supposed to have been provided to the Nanakuli Neighborhood Board official. And with that said, I'm going to use again the Makaha Gateway as an example because there is state operations, one by SHPTA, secondly by the Department of Health. And I would make it aware that Andrea Topola's office is going to hold a meeting, but I'd like to expand it. Is Mayor's representative still online yet?
I don't see her.
Okay. Anyway, please reach out to them because I think we're going to have to expand that because the Department of Health, Adult Mental Health Division, they had placed themselves for a few years now in operation. So we've been collaborating with our previous neighborhood boards about why are they there. So this guy who works for the division, his name is Troy Freitas, works for Department of Health. He said that he had collaborated with the Waianae Intermediate School, the principal of Kamaili Elementary School, and the Civic Club. That was false information. I am the Civic Club. Nobody came from the Department of Health, made awareness. So what that said, it never came before the neighborhood board because there's one thing, there's no conditional use permit that was opened up for that. That's why I was concerned of the mayor's rep being there. So we need to kind of broaden this meeting that Andrew's going to put together, your folks' office, and have one of our officials from the neighborhood boards, Waianae and Nanakuli, because this is Senate District 22, of course. We are bridged together. So that's what I'm asking is to broaden it to have our neighborhood board officials at this meeting for collaboration. As far as Kamaili Elementary School, did anybody from Kamaili, from Department of Health, notify Kamaili Elementary School principal? He's here. None at all. That's the answer. So 2, negative from the Department of Health. I got an email to show the evidence on that. Okay? That's where we're going.
Thank you, Mr. Salcedo. We got one more community member, and then we're going to need to move on.
Hello, I'm Sherry again. Just want to piggyback on top of Austin Salcedo again. So in regards for the group living, since I'm a kindergarten primary teacher at our Seventh-day Adventist church, I know that we'll be doing our upcoming Christmas caroling around the back neighborhood area, but if you can really put that concern for her to really investigate on this group living housing, because the premises that's nearby our church, and also we have an established church school there, it's very concerning for me because a lot of activities are happening and it's not really safe for our church kids and plus the students that's attending our church school. So when they come to our church ground, uninvited, they just help themselves because of the gates are open. And sometimes when we close our gates, they still climb over the fence. So in that mental mind, it's not really safe. And I know that a lot of the parents that paid the kids to come to our school, they wanted to make sure that they're safe and be well educated and so forth. But if it's possible, that can be investigated with those group housing that's less than restricted.
Go through. Sorry about that, Nani. Go ahead, Kika. Thank you. Okay, we need to move on to water supply. Online, Christopher. Chris, you still there?
Yes. Yeah, still here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Sugimoto from the Honolulu Board Water Supply. Let me share my report. Okay, so for the main break report, there was one water main break last month. It was on November 8th. It was a 12-inch main. The address was 85-419 Waianae Valley Road, and it was installed in 1957. Tonight's general water announcements topic is about scams. So it's the holiday season and utility scams. tend to increase during this time of year. Be aware that BWS will never call demanding bill payment under immediate threat of shutting off your water service. The BWS does not accept payment via Bitcoin prepaid cards or third-party payment apps. Be sure to verify their credentials if approached by someone claiming to be from the BWS. Be cautious of emails urging you to click an embedded link or attachment to pay a bill. Online bill payment is done through the BWS payment portal at www.boardofwatersupply.com. When in doubt, call the BWS at 808-748-5000, option 0. That's the end of my report. Is there any questions or comments for BWS?
Perry.
Go ahead, Board Member Perry.
Hi, Chris. The water main broke breakage on Waianae Valley Road. If they can come back and smooth the road. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members? If not, we're going to move on. Okay, moving on to U.S. Army Garrison. Major go. Major, you still there? Major Jeremy, fine. Major Jeremy, okay.
I'm
thank
here.
you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, first of all, thanks for having us. I just want to go over a couple announcements for really U.S. Army Garrison Schofield Barracks. So first one's the December job fair. Just want to go over that hiring was held on the 19th. There's still ways to apply on the website, which I can give anybody who's interested in it. The training advisory that went out by U.S. Army Garrison was published. If anybody needs a link to that or a phone number to reach the community concern line, just let me know. I'll just put it out. The new community concern line for U.S. Army Garrison is 808-787-1528. So if anyone wants to know what's going on in December overall with training through November or November through December, just let us know. Reminder for the 83rd anniversary for the National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day commemoration is on December 7th, and the ceremony will begin at 7:45 a.m. Anybody interested in attending? And finally, the last thing to cover is a Koli Pass exercise. It's going to be happening in the first part of February next year. So essentially, it's going to be some movement and a safety exercise from Farrington Highway through the Lualua Naval Magazine and through Koli Pass and Schofield Barracks, just testing emergency protocols and procedures. And then that's pretty much the main things I had to cover, pending any questions from any board members or anybody in the audience.
I'm sorry, sir, we're not going to take questions. We only have about 5 more minutes left, so we want to go ahead and move forward with U.S. Navy Uncle Victor Flint. Thank you, sir. Do appreciate your time and your report.
Hi, Board. Community Victor Flint, Naval Facilities. Also, Koli Pass is clear and passable now in case of declared emergencies, but those drills continue. Also, recently, we had a big leeward group go to Lualua for our heiau cleanup. So that was really good as well, and heiau restoration. So that was all very positive. Touch with the Waianae Coast Emergency Access Route. I know that's a trip. Navy is working with the state and Georgette them where we can turn it from an emergency road to a 24/7 bypass road. And a big mahalo to Andrea Tupola, who was the main person that got that road open, because we've always had an issue with that. Why can't we open the road and use it? So, but it's the city that controls it. So, December is coming up. All the events and programs going on that day, or you can find online in paper or on TV. And then you have the report on the Navy Closure Task Force dealing with Red Hill. That's all I have.
Thank you, Uncle Vic. We're going to move on to section 9 of our board committee reports. Let's go with transportation. Uncle Richard, any report for transportation? No, any report. Okay, moving on to parks and ocean safety. Kalei Wilbur.
My committee meeting will
stay at Pili La'au this, on the next Tuesday. There's a lot going on. We had a lot of some walkthroughs with the deputy director for parking, our new deputy director, Ted Hayden, and then our director, deputy director, Krishna. We walked the district park to look at all the issues that we're having that are here, and we'd like to address and hopefully get some things rolling to beautify and better this this park here, because this is our main facility. And then of course the improvements that we're trying to work on for Pili La'au. We do need more community input on there is money appropriated for that park, so we do need more community input. And then there's also Kaupuni. Kaupuni is in limbo right now because they're outside of their lease agreement with DHHL. So that's supposed to be remedied in February. And once that happens, there is a lot of money there too. But that hopefully we can work on that play apparatus and get that taken care of at Kaupuni. I am looking into the Lu'ulu'ale number 2 comfort station. They got burned, and we're trying to work out something with the director for Park and Recs and deputy director for Park and Recs to see if the community can come together and try and help rebuild that, so that the parks then can maintain it, because they're not going to put money into something that's that close to the ocean. But we don't want to lose our assets. That conversation really, there's a lot of kupuna and that frequent that park and prefer going to that one in remembrance, because that's where the hangout was back in the day and stuff like that, especially when they're doing like services for fallen family and stuff. But yeah, a lot going on, been busy, and hope to see you guys at my committee meeting next Tuesday at Pili La'au. It'll be outside, not inside. I try to converse with the coaches and the families and stuff like that while they're having practice and stuff like that. And then it'll, what's supposed to be back here, but I gotta still fix that with Jeff. But I don't know, maybe we'll go mobile. But thank you guys.
Moving on to housing and homelessness, Calvin Endo.
So we're going to resume our meetings starting in January. We took a couple months of break, but we'll have that, and our education meeting is on the third Tuesdays of every month. So we'll resume in January.
Natural resources, water and land, either Dana or hopefully Joe Jordan, either one of you will take that too. And we also have business and economic development. So between board member Dana and Joe Jordan, you guys both can take a look at that and which one you guys want to deal. We also have Hawaiian Affairs on the first Thursday, education, health, and public safety on third Tuesday. Land and natural resources is on the third Thursday. Community service EAD chair, board member Johnny May Perry. Please email her for concerns. It's on our agenda. And it's 9 o'clock. We are adjourned.